One of the most unexpected aircraft in War Thunder that has actually kind of shown and shined in the last couple updates because of how aircraft have been added and BRs have been moved up is the F4F ICE. Now, when it was first added and it was Germany's only true top tier aircraft, it was quite lacking against the F-15C and the flankers. But now with things like the Eurofighter and 14.0 coming and hopefully even higher BRs coming, the F4F ICE kind of just keeps shining. Now, yeah, sitting at 13.0, you can still see 14.0, and you are not going to be competitive with things like the Eurofighter, the Hornet, F-15s, Su-30s, Rafales. All of those aircraft are going to absolutely destroy you. But you are one of the best low-tier, if not the best low-tier Fox 3 carrier in my opinion. And the reason for this is simple. Like the AV-8, you get access to 4 AIM-120s, and you have access to the AN APG-65, the same exact radar on the Hornet. But unlike the Harrier, you are supersonic, so you're able to use your AIM-120s at farther distance. And also on top of that, you have access to 4 IR missiles over the 2 that the AV-8 has. Yes, the AV-8 does indeed have the AIM-9M, but your AIM-9 LIs is the same sort of seeker, it just is not smokeless. And the other low-tier aircraft that are, Fox 3 carriers, things like the JA-37DI Viggen, also have, the 4 AIM-120s, but then they only have 2 AIM-9Ls. So really, realistically, this is one of the, if not the best low-tier Fox 3 carrier. And in games that you can either play at 13.0 or get down-tiered, you are going to perform very, very well. You're going to be playing things like F-14s, and then the premium FA-18C. And I'm just going to say, you absolutely perform at these BRs. The biggest threats you're going to have in these, down tier, not down tiers, but in these at BR games is going to be the Fevker 90. And that missile is still pretty just insane in general. So you're going to be able to, you have one of the best radars. So you're going to be able to BVR with aircraft at this BR pretty successfully. Now, yes, you are not going to do quite as well as something like the F-14A IRAF with the Fevker 90. The Fevker 90 is just a longer range missile. It's just going to do better in BVR. But your AIM-120s are very good medium-ranged missiles in this BR range. And plus, on top of that, like I said, you have your 4 AIM-9 LIs over the 2 9Ms the Harrier gets and your supersonic. So, when comparing yourself with things like the AV-8B for low-tier dominance, or not for low-tier, but for 13.0 dominance, this plane does indeed shine. And it's quite surprising how well it does, in my opinion. I'm going to be completely honest. It does absurdly well. And I very much like the aircraft. I think, when it got added to the game, it was definitely an aircraft that people should have stayed away from. It was not going to perform against the F-15C and the Su-27 SM. But sitting here now with 14.0, higher BRs coming, you have so many nations that play at 12.7 and 13.0 that you're able to queue in those games so easily, so nicely at least. Things like the Premium Hornet, which I believe is one of the most played premiums right now, is at that BR, so you're going to run into them so much. I mean, the Su-33 is at the same BR as you, and you're going to run into that one also quite a bit. I mean, let alone your majority of your games are going to be against the Su-33 and the FA-18C. Like, that's just what you're going to see. And obviously, up tiers exist. So if you get up here to 14.0, you're not completely helpless. You do have AIM-120s with a good radar. I mean, stay low and use your HMD. You're not helpless, but you're definitely not, good at that BR. But you're going to be better off than other aircraft. I think once the BRs continue to go up, once we see like 14.7 and 15.0, I think it's safe to say that this aircraft will be one of the most dominant in the game. It already feels very, very dominant right now. I never had to play it when it was, going up against the F-15C and Su-27 SM, but from what I've seen and what I've heard people say, it definitely struggled. Playing against it, it's one of those aircraft that you're stuck in an older generation airframe, but you have next generation missiles. So it's very hard to balance because it can't really go up. It can't really follow right underneath the F-15s and F-16s and F-18s. It just doesn't have the performance. But it can't really, go down anymore or stay low because it's going to, or stay lower in BRs than those aircraft because it's going to dominate with its future, you know, with its more advanced missiles than what you're going up against. I mean, like I said, your biggest comparison in terms of beyond visual range is going to be the Falcon 90. And already there, you're still going to pretty much outperform the F-14 at closer ranges anyways. Anyways, I want to know what your guys' thoughts are down below in the comments on the F4F ICE. Do you guys think it's one of those aircraft that is going to remain in the game with how it is, or remain dominant right now? Also, BRs do change. You know, this video could be completely irrelevant in, you know, next BR changes. But for now, as of right now, playing the aircraft, it feels incredibly dominant at the BR it sits at. Anyways, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe and join the Discord link down below in the description. And I will see you guys in a later video.